All right, we are live.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, and welcome to the KD Ratio. It's your designated podcast for all things nerd. My name is Kyle, and with me tonight I have
Dylan,
Dylan. We just watched the Game Awards.
we did.
We did. We saw some things that were exciting, and we saw some things that were underwhelming.
We came, we saw, we conquered,
Yeah,
in that
and
order.
we are better men because of it.
Yep.
At least I think so. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. I what are your thoughts on this Game Awards this year?
I think okay, so I mean we'll go into detail on some things that we're excited about, we could talk
Uh-huh.
about, but overall, um the awards aspect of it, I'm very happy for Expedition 33. Uh
They pretty much sweeped.
they swept I think everything they're nominated for except for like Player's Choice.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think that they didn't win. It's a good game. It's a good studio. I'm all for giving it to the little guy, you know? So, uh as far as the news and the announcements and things like that, that I'm kind of like I'm very lukewarm. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I would say happy Expedition 33 won. Think they definitely deserved it. I feel like this year the Game Awards was better than last year's, but I think it still suffers the same problem of they are trying to get those game announcements and stuff and trailers in, and we lose out on some of the nominations for other game, like the other awards, and we don't really get to see like them get their time to shine because we need to fit the next trailer in and stuff. Like we were talking while we were watching it, Silk Song won its only award in one of those like rapid fire, you know, award uh things. And so I,
It's frustrating
yeah,
in that
because
regard because like I almost like everyone kind of already we talked about this last year and the year before. Everyone has like accepted that the Game Awards is really just like an advertisement. It's more like a game show.
it's E3
Like
kind of.
it's E3. There is no E3 anymore, and it's kind of like filled that void. But I almost wish that there was just like a separate event for that, which I guess there is with like Game Fest, but like Winter Game Fest and Summer Game Fest. I wish that,
Yeah,
and then that the award ceremony was more akin to an actual award ceremony. I'm thinking like Oscars. You don't watch the Oscar ceremony to watch trailers for new movies coming out.
yeah.
Like
I can't wait to see what they're gonna drop at the end.
like these awards, it means a lot to these game studios, and it is kind of a bummer that at times it feels like um them winning is just a footnote to like other things like Mega Man coming out and stuff like that. Like those are all exciting things, but I think there's a time and a place, and so that's a little bit of I kind of gripe with that a little bit too.
Do you think this was better than last year's?
What I mean, what happened last year as
I
far
don't
as
remember.
gaming news? I know that we were happy because Astrobot won, but I think the thing I was most excited for last year was actually Exodus.
Yeah,
And so if we're gonna talk about like the games now of it, I will say that I think Exodus had kind of a weak showing this time around. That trailer didn't really sway me one way or the other. It felt very like generic slop, like for lack of a better word.
I agree with you. And something about I know it's not the biggest deal, but the facial animations weirded me out. I
Yeah.
didn't like. I've been hyped with you, not as hyped as you, but I've been hyped with you because I want another good sci-fi adventure space game. And this one, I was whelmed. I and then
Agreed.
also a little creeped out by the faces. So overall, it wasn't a it wasn't a positive. It was like
It,
even keel with a little bit of a negative.
I would actually say that it leaned negative towards me because it took away some of my hype. Not enough for me to just abandon the idea of the game because I even read the book and I love the universe that they've created. And I love like what their vision is. So like I'm not gonna let one trailer immediately make me like give up on it. But I wanted something girthier and more like lore rich and then when they topped it off and they're like early 2027 and I'm like, man, we got a whole nother year. Like I thought if we can get lucky, I thought maybe spring, or fall, but like 20 spring 2027, I was like, damn, okay.
So
I
it's
need to
still
get
out.
off the train because I gotta move
It's
on
still a ways out.
and then Billy joked in our chat where he's like, okay, so 2028 then is
I
like
know.
what we're yeah. Which I mean I hope not. Unless it needs it, If a game needs it, I'm all for it because we don't want a repeat of things like Cyberpunk and whatnot.
Or it
What
just
were
doesn't.
you what was your most hype moment? Like did you have a moment where you're like, okay, this looks cool?
Let me look through it again right now. I would honestly say the one that probably got me the most hype was I mean, I wish I would have been able to watch it live, but the Fate of the Old Republic, pretty hype. Pretty hype.
We know that's mine.
But I feel like the I came in about halfway. Like I came in after like Exodus, after that trailer. Um, so the one that I was watching live that I was hyped about was Control Resonant. I like the first Control game. I like Alan Wake, and I like their like SCP type world that they're
Yeah.
building stuff in. So I would say that was the only one. But overall, probably the Star Wars. Divinity was weird.
Divinity. So before I talk about my most hype game,
Yeah,
let's talk about Divinity because that trailer, it was hard to kind of even understand what was happening. There was some type of ritualistic killing of some old man. I don't know if this guy was a
being
villain
burned
that was
alive.
like he's being punished. Maybe he was like a fallen king or I don't know much about it, but there was some kind of weird black magic stuff going on with that. And then it drops the Larian Studios. And
Silly.
after, yeah, I mean, after Baldur's Gate 3 and a little bit of Divinity 2 that we both played, I would say that earns some excitement for
Oh yeah.
sure to see what they're going to do with this, what direction they're going to go. It's probably set in the same universe and world as the Divinity first one and two, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a major timeline jump, like either 100 years earlier or 100 years later. Like, I don't think it'll have anything to do with
The
the
other two.
cast of the other two. Like, it'll be in the same universe, but totally different story,
Because
is
those
what I'm
ones,
thinking.
both of those ones were Divinity Original Sin, right?
Yes. And this was
So,
just Divinity.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited. Uh, the story-wise, narrative-wise, like cinematically, Larian is right up there with the best of the best right now. And then if they bring the mechanics, their RPG elements back to Divinity Originals 2 and kind of stay away like pull away a little bit from Baldur's Gate 3, I think that's exciting too because Divinity 2 it had fun strategic gameplay that I would like to see revisited. Not that Baldur's Gate didn't, but I think one of the main things with Baldur's Gate is they were kind of trapped
Well,
in
yeah,
a
their
way.
hands are tied.
Their hands were tied in a lot of ways because it was Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea that they're gonna get a little bit more freedom back on the types of stuff you could do.
I hope they combine the two because I really liked Baldur's Gate. Like I was able to get into that combat system and really enjoy it. So I hope there's enough DNA of that to
I do too, for sure.
yeah,
I like I said, I just get excited at the prospect of them having a little more control.
yeah.
I think that that'll be fun for sure. I'm excited to like learn more about like, the cast. Are they gonna bring some of their like is Jennifer English coming back? 'Cause she's in everything now.
She's Shadowheart again.
Yeah. No, I
Um
mean, uh I I would assume that they're gonna recruit some of you know,
well, and are
their
we gonna
tried
get
and
the
true
same level
people.
of cutscenes?
I want a cutscene. So that's something that Divinity did not have.
Yeah.
Divinity 1, 2, all of the like narrative aspects of it is that the narrator did a really good job, but the narrator kind of narrated what happened, and all the cutscenes were like they weren't like cutscenes. It was more of an old school CRPG in that like, you know, you hovered over the characters and then something happened and it was dialogue that explained what happened. And then, I would love for them to keep the spirit of Baldur's Gate 3 and have just really good cutscenes and romance options.
Yes,
Just
of course. The
the
most
most
important
important.
part.
Uh,
Um,
the Carlax of the.
Now we're gonna have. I wonder if they're going for a darker tone because the trailer was
It
pretty
was
dark.
pretty dark. Um, if the game itself comes out and it's reminiscent of that, that was like Diablo levels of dark as
Yeah,
far as fantasy goes.
and
So
that's what the door in the desert was.
that was the big thing. The For people that have been following Jeff Keighley on social medias, and everyone's trying to figure out what that door or that statue, whatever that was in the desert, what it was, and there's a lot of rumors on different things, but I did not see it being linked to Larian.
Divinity.
Yeah, that was a nice little surprise.
Yeah. Any other game that I know before your main one? Any other games beside that? Did they hype you besides Divinity and the other one?
Um, I'm semi excited about that Capcom game, the
Which
sci-fi
one?
one with you like have that girl. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
Pragmata.
Pragmata. The trailer, it didn't really sell me, but like I liked the first trailer that came out at last year's Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I'll be keeping an eye on.
Ontos
Uh,
or
Go ahead.
Ontos, the Ontos game.
You excited about that?
Kind of. It's reminded me a lot of BioShock, and we don't have much games like that anymore. Like first person psychedelic horror kind of experiences. So I played Soma. Unfortunately, I never finished it. I should. Um, and I enjoyed it the little bit I played. What are your thoughts on that one?
I played Soma and I actually beat it, but it was so long ago now that I don't even really remember the story. And they said it's a spiritual successor to Soma. I think I am itching for a good horror game. But I think what's gonna take the cake for me on that is Resident Evil. I know this is such a silly thing to get hyped about, but I am one of those people that gets hyped that Leon's back. Like,
Leon. Well, they
because
announced that a
I've been playing
two
forever.
it's a two-person story. So like one half is going to be as I don't remember her name,
The blonde girl.
the blonde girl, and it's going to be more of
And
like a
then
survival horror.
and the
And then
better
you have
half is gonna be Leon.
Leon kicking
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny. That's how like Village was when you played as Ethan and the whole game you're just struggling. And then when you play as Chris, you're like, oh, now I'm a badass.
Now
Like
I'm the boss.
I would love like just a Leon and Chris reunion because they haven't been in the game together in a while.
Right?
That was, but Leon. So I'm one of the few defenders of Resident Evil 6 as well. I actually really enjoyed that one, and my favorite story in that because there was three different stories in that game. My favorite one was Leon's. I love Leon,
Leon's a great character.
and I
I
think that's I think the reason that they went that direction is they saw how high people got for Resident Evil 4 remake.
They're like,
They're like,
oh,
oh, Leon is still a bankable character. We
we
should
should
bring
put
him
him
back.
back in.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that one too, because I think Resident Evil, they've been nailing the horror aspect, especially with Biohazard. What was that
7.
seven? And then Village was great. Village was Biohazard was I liked Biohazard more because it was like it was a lot creepier.
Yeah.
Village
Village
was
strayed a little
actiony.
bit away from horror. It had aspects of like true horror with like the puppet level in
Yeah,
that mansion. Like that was pretty old school horror. But Resident Evil 7 for me was special because it just found that perfect balance for me. Like I love a good horror film or a horror game, but I also like when the protagonist is competent.
right?
And
Yeah.
like even though it's still scary, it's still overwhelming, you still feel like you're a little bit of a badass. And I think Ethan had that fine balance. Like he was able to show genuine fear, but also at the same time, like he never backed down, and I fucking love that about him.
That's the same reason I love Dead Space so much. It's
Yeah,
like it's
same thing.
horror, but you always feel like you always feel like you got a chance. You're not
Right.
completely hopeless. You're almost, but not completely.
There's like, I always joke that after Ethan gets his hand cut off in Resident Evil 7,
Uh-huh.
he literally,
When he pours the goop on his hand, it's been severed.
so he literally gets his hand cut off. Sorry, there was like some banging over
Oh,
there. I
you're
was
good.
like, what's going He literally gets his hand cut off. And then his first reaction, he finds a gun and he goes, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Like, as if he's like my hand got cut off. And that just pisses me off.
All right.
Which is super unrealistic, but at the same time, like I appreciate that in a protagonist.
Exactly. Um, I feel like that's something unique to Resident Evil games because that just makes me think of Chris in Resident Evil 4, 5, when he punches a
Five.
boulder.
When he, when- it's still memed on when there's a quick time event and for him not just pushing the boulder, he's like elbowing and punching it to
Well,
like
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it rolling towards him too? And
it's
he's like
not so
punch.
like it's stuck and Wesker is like moving in like the volcano or wherever they were to get somewhere. And for whatever reason, that boulder specifically, he needs to move and it won't move and he's pushing it and he can't push it. And so the quick time events is literally him just punching the boulder and then it pushes the boulder over and they joke that the final boss is the boulder. And that's from Resident Evil 5. I played all of them. And that one, weirdly enough, Resident Evil 5 has a special place in my heart because there's a lot of games that I look back on fondly because of like what I was doing at that point in my life.
Uh-huh.
And Resident Evil 5 was, even though this was later when we played it, it was the first co-op game that I ever played and beat with my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she played as Sheva and I played as Chris. And it was a struggle. And because at that time she wasn't that good at console gaming, and we made it through, and our relationship survived, and now we both look
And
back on
prospered.
that series. Yeah, we look back on that series fondly because of that.
I that one was like I feel like that was the most arcadey that Resident Evil got.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was like that was Resident Evil at its campiest.
Yeah. I played that one with my friend Malachi because I remember playing it. It's very vibrant. We were in high school and we had so much fun with it. And then it like just how silly it was and what we got the all the unlockables you could get like the minigun and the hand cannon and it's just a
Yeah.
blast. So I am excited for that. I'm interested to see. Do you think it'll be like Resident Evil 2, where it's like it's a whole campaign and then it's like almost new game plus to play as the other person?
I think I don't know if that's what they're I think it'll be closer to how Resident Evil Village was.
Uh-huh.
Um, where there's the game and then the Leon will come in and kind of save the hero because, he's Leon.
He's Leon.
But I think it'll probably be a little more 50-50 versus like 80-20, how Resident Evil 8 was.
Yeah, because most of it was Ethan in 8.
Yeah. Because it was, I mean, to be fair, that was his two games.
Yeah.
Like that was his story. So they didn't want Chris to overwhelm it. But since this is a new chapter, I think they're okay setting the expectation of it being just as much Leon's as it is hers. But we'll see what they do. Maybe Leon will only be like in it the same amount that Chris was.
I hope not. I hope I hope he's in it more. Because we haven't had a good Leon game in a while. Or I mean,
We
a
just had
current
Resident,
Leon game.
yeah, we just had Resident Evil 4 remake, but I get what you're saying. It's funny in Resident Evil like 5
Uh-huh.
and 6, I still have in my head like every time like Sheva would die and Chris would go, Sheva! And and then in Resident Evil 6 in Leon's story, every time it was Leon and this chick, her name was Helena. Like Elena but with an H.
Uh-huh.
And Leon would always go, Helena! Every time she would die. And
Leon!
so like Tori played as Helena and she would die. Leon would say Helena, and then I would copy him and do the same thing, and she would get so mad.
She's like, Kyle.
But yeah,
One
so I'm
uh
excited about that too.
one I might be biased because right now I'm replaying through Armored Core 6 again. I might be biased, but I am actually hyped for Ace Combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that? Well, okay, before we get into that, Ace Combat does look fun. And it looks like, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it feels like they're putting like more of an emphasis on whatever the story might be.
Yeah, it seemed like a full-on story.
Yeah. So
Like
that'll be interesting.
they were like lost at sea at first, and then he gets on the ship and he's a big dog and seems cool.
So I love pretending I'm Maverick, from Top Gun, playing some
Flying first person.
Danger Zone in the
Did you ever play
background.
I think it was Tom Clancy's Hawks.
I never played that.
That one you could drift the jet. It was pretty cool.
This is so
You
cool.
could go and then which I mean is it's a real maneuver, but it was cool. I
Yeah.
hope they have that. I want to drift
But
some
like,
jets.
you ever wonder like what does Tom Clancy even do anymore? Like why
Is
does
he
his name
alive?
like is he dead? Like why is his name attached to so many different things still?
He wrote so many books.
Did he die?
Let's
I thought he was
see.
still alive,
Yeah,
but I
he's
could
dead. He died in 2013.
well, that makes me incredibly sad. I'm just
Dang, he was only 66 when he died.
That's why I was surprised that he died because he was like really big in the 90s.
I thought he was older. Wow.
He did like all the Jack Ryan stuff.
Splinter Cell,
There's
Rainbow
something
Six.
in his contract that like everything that's inspired by any of his characters or something still has his name attached to it. I don't know, that's weird.
Huh.
But anyways,
The main event.
uh No, I was gonna say, what do you feel about that? Like, there was a game is called like Tank something,
Tank Rat?
Tank Rat.
I didn't get to watch that trailer yet.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked kind of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was I don't know. I don't know if it's like it's not like a day one or anything like that, but it looked it looked fun. And it
I,
almost at times the movement kind of reminded me of like Armored Core.
I'll have to check it out then. Because yeah, I'm
It's
replaying Armored Core right now and I'm loving it. So,
it's not the gameplay at least made it look it wasn't like World of Tanks. Like it wasn't like they call it Tank Rap, but it almost seemed more like they were like mini mechs is what it seemed like.
mm,
Yeah.
huh. And Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2.
Billy's not here to blaze
To
his
talk
game up.
about it. Was there a Guild Wars? I didn't see the trailer. Did you?
It was like the first one. It was right at the beginning. It was the only one
It
I caught at the beginning. It was for, I think, an expansion called Visions of Eternity.
Visions of Eternity.
Yeah,
Well, I will save our discussions
the
for
hype.
When Billy's able to join us again, because I would do just a massive disservice if I tried to talk about.
Yeah,
But he
I
was
didn't
right.
even.
He's been talking about they've been leading to something for a while, and he's been so hyped. I'm bummed that he's not here to go into it because that this guy could riff for an hour and a half on this.
So, talking about hype, I did want to touch on the final announcement
Final announcement.
from the Game Awards. Was not hype at all for me. It
Elder
actually,
Scrolls Red Guard. Just kidding. High Guard.
high
Apex
guard,
Legends Battle
Apex
Royale.
Legends, it actually reversed my hype and left me disappointed.
It was anti-hype.
Yeah.
I I don't think that okay, let me preface this, but I don't think it's gonna be a bad game.
Well, and I think Kyle, I think we're in maybe not the minority, but we're just not the right crowd because Apex has there's a
Yeah.
reason it's popular. But for us,
We're just we're not the target audience. And so I'm not gonna sit here and just bash on it.
yeah.
But it is kind of one of those things where it's like major blue balls. It's like
So
the whole Game Awards, you're like getting ready to,
what are they gonna show?
what are they gonna show? And then they show that, and you're like, oh, okay.
I wonder if this is how Billy feels when he watches it
Yeah,
because he hates
probably.
story games. So he sees all these story games. He's like,
There were so many like anime games this time too.
I know there was Zenless, Wuthering Waves,
Uh,
uh,
Wuthering Waves.
Where Winds Meet,
Let's talk about biggest
some
disappointment of the night.
Player's Choice.
Player's Choice, our only chance to get
Well,
Dispatch to have some type of game of the year.
not the only one. They were nominated for a mainline
They
one. What was
they
that?
were nominated for debut indie,
Debut indie.
which got obviously went to Expedition 33.
But yeah,
So
Player's Choice.
I had hope that Dispatch would have won the Player's Choice, and the audience seemed to like agree with me. They all
But we
wanted
forgot
Dispatch too,
about
but we
one thing,
forgot
Kyle.
about the Asian invasion,
China.
the China
And how many
and
people there are in China. There's a lot.
Wuthering, what Worlds? Wuthering what?
Wuthering Waves.
Wuthering Waves, one Player's Choice for Game of the Year, which is just a subcategory, but a little bit of a bummer because I have been glazing Dispatch so hard because I love that game like with a passion, and I was hoping that they would have got that, but is what it is, and
Well, the timing just sucked with their release. Like, I mean, not for us, but for Game Awards nomination
yeah,
wise, like, because they didn't get included in like narrative or voice acting, which I think voice acting,
Aaron Paul, my personal favorite. Nothing against Jennifer English. I'm happy she won. and I like Expedition 33, and I like that they swept it, just like I said. Um, but I do think that Aaron Paul should have been nominated.
Yeah. Who was the
He
other
did
ones
so.
besides Ben Starr and Jennifer?
Charlie Cox
Charlie
was
Cox,
there. Um, the voice actor for the girl from Ghost of
Atsu.
Yotei, Atsu, which I didn't actually play in the English version, so I don't even really know what her performance was like. I
I
played the
switched a
Japanese.
few times. She was pretty good. Like it fit, but I like the Japanese version better.
It felt more authentic.
Hmm.
Um, and then who else? The girl from Silent Hill F, I think.
Yes. Okay. But yeah,
Which I mean, those were fine nominees, but I think I would have liked Laura Bailey to be in there, Aaron Paul, and maybe even the girl that voices Blonde Blazer, I think, or even Jeffrey Wright as Trackstar.
yeah.
I feel like you know, I just I feel I'm upset that they didn't really get their flowers that they could have earned. I would have liked
And
to
they
have at
probably
least
would have
been.
earned,
I would have liked to that whole game would have been. I would have liked to have seen it nominated in different categories more.
Hmm.
But it is what it is.
We'll just have
Uh,
to wait for season two.
just have to wait for season two. That tells you that the developers don't really care. I mean, not that they don't care, but that the Game Awards wasn't their driving force for
Yeah.
releasing because that.
They're like, whoa, we can't release
Wait
it
a minute.
now.
Aaron Paul needs his Game Award. Yeah.
If we don't give it to him, he's gonna be pissed.
They can't keep getting away with it.
What's perfect is that's his quote too.
Yeah. So my personal now that I mean if we're gonna get into it now, my personal most hype moment, what I'm excited for, because
It
I didn't know
was
this was coming,
Escape from
was
Duck-Off.
yeah, Escape from Duck Off. Are you hyped or are you with me or not? Because that is
I'm
gonna
with you.
be amazing.
The Squeakers. Mm.
Incredible. Incredible. All jokes aside, no, Fate of the Old Republic. I
With
know nothing
Casey
about this
Hudson.
with Casey Hudson, the original game director of not only the first Knights of the Old Republic, which is my favorite game of all time, but the Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3, which is my favorite game trilogy of all time.
Wait, so
And
did he do, you said the first Knights of the Republic? Did he not do the second?
Obsidian did the second. He did not do the
Obsidian.
second. Yeah.
Okay.
He did the first Knights of the Old Republic. BioWare didn't even develop the second game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
Huh.
was Obsidian that did it. Obsidian is very well known for like doing like sequels to loved games
They're like, yeah,
or,
we can do a sequel to it, even though it's
or
not our game.
like spin-offs. You know,
Fallout New
like
Vegas.
Follow New Vegas. In fact, when Avowed came out, which I never played, but I did find one of the trailers funny. It was like from the people that brought you Fallout, and then in like little sub like parentheses like New Vegas is like and Knights of the Old Republic 2. Like it was like in their trailer. Like I thought that was funny they did that.
They're admitting it.
But I am so hyped for Fate of the Old Republic. It looks like it's gonna be a sequel potentially to Knights of the Old Republic. It's got one of the best, in my opinion, dudes in the business. The protagonist seems like, I don't know, some chick. I don't know anything about her. I don't
It
know.
was a lot of cinematic landscapes
Yeah.
and
I don't know
then
anything about the
her
story.
eyes.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Uh, I don't know anything. I don't know anything, but I'm hyped and I'm ready and I'm excited.
Well, I mean, if it's following Knights of the Old Republic, right? And it's create your own character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They canonized one of the endings in Knights of the Old Republic. Um, so your character in Knights of the Republic would, if he does make an appearance in this game, it would be a canonized version of what happened in the first game. Because
Oh.
they've already set that in stone of what the canon version of that game is.
So, as a fan of the original, do you want similar gameplay?
I if they are gonna go turn-based, which is what Knights of the Old Republic was, I'm not opposed to that, but I would like to see it brought into the modern era.
What would
So
be
if it's
your
gonna be
dream?
turn-based, if it's gonna be a turn-based game, I would like to see it more in perhaps the style of Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Because it is a party-based game like that. So you get your crew with you. I would like to see it in that style. I think that it could do well in something like Expedition 33 style, where it's like very parry dodge heavy style turn-based like that. But narratively speaking and gameplay wise, it would make more sense to make it in the style of like how Baldur's Gate 3 is.
Well,
That's what I would appreciate.
what would be your dream gameplay style?
For Knights of the Republic,
Yeah.
I would prefer something reminiscent of Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. So
Yeah.
sticking to turn-based. You wouldn't want it to
I
leave
would
turn-based?
I would be perfectly happy if they made it more like Mass Effect and it was no longer turn-based. But I do think it loses a little bit of its identity if it does that.
Like what if it was like uh I guess Jedi Fallen Order would be the closest.
If they do it like that, it's for me, it's no longer Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they might as well just have make it a different series.
Hmm.
Not saying that would be a bad game, but that's not what I personally would be hoping for.
Or
I would
God of
I want
War.
I want a narrative rich cinematic experience where the gameplay is reminiscent of Baldur's Gate 3. That to me is the perfect fate of the Old Republic.
Okay.
Would you
I
would you be on board still if they did that?
Oh yeah, I'd be on board. I would say what I'm hoping for, if not that, because I would say I'm hoping for either that outcome or the one I could picture is you go the style of God of War. Because I love God of War so much, but to have
Yeah.
that kind of third person good combat. And especially I mean God of War, that was a change in gameplay style that I think they nailed. So
Yeah.
I would enjoy that a much more uh I don't know what you call that over the shoulder uh, just like it's not a hack and slash, kind of. I don't know. I don't even know what that genre is called.
I guess third person action. I'm
Yeah,
not,
third
yeah.
person action adventure.
Yeah.
Uh, I would like something like that because I think it'd be cool to be able to use like the movement abilities, especially.
One of
Um,
my favorite parts about Knights of the Old Republic though is um the system is built off of it's like a Star Wars D&D.
okay,
So all the force powers are different skills and there's feats and skills and you can't really do that in a game like God of War or Fallen Order like and so if they did that you would lose all of that. Like think of all the skills you get in like a Baldur's Gate 3,
true.
how that wouldn't work in any other type of game except for Baldur's Gate 3. And as you level up, you select it's the same type of idea. That's why people talk about Knights of the Old Republic how it was such a instrumental RPG for like the modern era because it was like the first game that like maybe not the first game. It was the first majorly popular game that took the idea of like Dungeons and Dragons and turned it into a video game.
Okay.
And so I think that's the mindset you have to get into when you're thinking the Old Republic is like you have to like I
What would you miss
think
out
of it
on
like
by
that.
limiting them to like,
Yeah. Like, do you miss out on all these different skills and the force powers and they're all unique and you know that would be my only fear if they change the style because then it's no longer that style anymore. It's a different type of game, and in which case they should drop the Old Republic moniker title.
do you think it's going to take place after?
So here's the thing. I thought about it a little bit since that trailer came out. I would be a little worried if it takes place during the time of Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO. Um, Not worried, but I would prefer that it would take place either directly after Knights of the Old Republic 1, um, or before, like
Okay.
before the events of Knights of the Old Republic. Uh, I love the Old Republic, the MMO, but I do think that I would be okay with them kind of decanonizing that a little bit.
Does that take place after?
It takes place after
Okay.
because they kind of messied some stuff up when that came out.
If I were to guess just by the name alone, I think it's going to be after at least one and two,
Yeah.
just because it's the fate of the Old Republic.
So the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic takes place 4,000 years before the events of the movies. So there is a lot of space
Time.
there to do something. So they could even do like 500 to 1,000 years after the first game and still be completely fine, not harming and affecting the movies. There's still 3,000 years. That's the equivalent of us going back to ancient Egypt. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of time there.
a lot of stuff happened.
A lot of stuff happens. Which some people kind of joke about. They're like, why have why has the universe of Star Wars not really advanced in like 4,000 years? And I think they just kind of say that you society kind of plateaus uh
Mm.
once it reaches a certain level, and also the fact that the Force is still heavily involved in life and society is like a benefit, but also like a crutch because people rely so heavily on it, you know.
And there's the whole balance scale
But
that we
there's
learned
so
about.
many there's so many good stories that they could tell. Like they could even tell the story like so there's the Jedi Civil War that happened after the Mandalorian Wars, where basically all of the Jedi, um, because the Jedi used to be much more involved in politics, and like they were, like they were involved in wars and kind of how they were in the Clone Wars.
Uh-huh.
And all of the Jedi fought like all of the Mandalorians in like this crazy epic battle. The Mandalorians eventually lost. And then Revan and his apprentice, like they turned to the dark side, and then they started the Jedi Civil War because they started recruiting Jedi to the dark side. This is before the Rule of Two was established. So there was like a shit ton of dark Jedi versus a bunch of like Jedi and this epic clashes. And like you just don't really see full scale epic force master power fights like that. And that's why I love that the whole idea of this could be so exciting on what they do with it.
Well, in Knights of the Old Republic, you could also be you didn't have to be a Jedi, right? Or no?
Nope. So
You could be like a
um
smuggler.
you can be so here's a high level, super quick overview of the story of Knights of the Old Republic. Spoiler alert for a game that came out like 22 years ago, but um you start off as either a soldier or a smuggler or what is the other what is the third one? Like a scout. Um and uh the ship you're on, you're contracted either as a soldier or you're contracted to this ship for whatever reason. It crash lands, uh, and you're looking for this Jedi that went down with that ship. You find her, you go back to Dantooine, not Tatooine or Coruscant, but Dantooine, and there's a Jedi enclave there. You return the Jedi there, and you're like, here we got her. They find out you're force sensitive. They take you in as a special case, even though you're already an adult, and they train you because your midichlorians or whatever are
Off the
off
charts.
the charts. It's unmatched. Um, and you go through, you learn. in weeks what people don't learn in years, and you become super powerful. And then the big twist is you are actually the thought dead Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Revan, who when uh he died, he didn't actually die. He went into a coma, and the Jedi used the Force to basically put in a different identity
Oh,
into him,
wow.
um, and create this false life. Um, and it's one of those things that when that big reveal happens, there's all this writing on the wall where you're like, oh, that makes so much fucking sense because they talk about it throughout the whole game. And up until that point, the whole allure of like, how did Darth Revan, like, what happened to Darth Revan, and like all this stuff. So that was like one of the biggest, that was coolest twist endings or twist moments in a game ever. And then you have the option to basically return to the life of Darth Revan as a Dark Lord of the Sith and get like the evil ending, or you can reject your former self and become like the savior of the galaxy. Um, and the kind of canon ending is you become like the savior of the galaxy and you save everyone, but you reject the Jedi for what they did to you and the Sith, and you become like a gray Jedi. And that's like kind of
Oh,
that's like the canon ending of what happened to Revan. And he's very powerful. Revan is like kind of on the level of like Anakin and Darth Vader. Like he's um like
tough shit.
tough shit. It's really cool. And I just
He's like,
I
it's
I
like
get
the Dark
so
Urge.
hyped. Yeah, I get so hyped and excited to get back into like the idea of that seems so like so fun to me.
What choice is your favorite for the ending?
I I I have a hard time being bad in games. It sounds
Same.
silly, but like even when I tell myself like I'm gonna go evil on playthroughs, the first time like I actually have to do something evil, I'm like I can't. I can't do
No,
it.
that's
Yeah.
what I know. We've talked about Baldur's Gate a lot. That's what makes it hard for me to play Dark Urge. Even though I like how much more you're involved, like personally, and I think that that was probably the canon character you're supposed to have. I don't like it because of how it like really tries to force you to be bad, which is part of the
Yeah.
story, but it's like I'm just a goody two shoes. I would
I
never do that.
funny enough because I play with the same mindset, but I love playing as Dark Urge, and I like being the Dark Urge that overcomes it
That resist
and
it.
that resists and becomes a hero. And I like that because I feel like you're more connected to the main story, especially Orin's like your sister, not like your adopted sister or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and like I just like the idea of someone overcoming their dark urges to become a hero. So that's actually my favorite way to play it is a dark urge who has resisted and became a hero. That's my
Do
favorite way
you
to play Baldur's Gate 3.
I have to if I play the Dark Urge. I re-downloaded Baldur's Gate 3, like getting prepared to do another playthrough. Um, and I'll probably do Dark Urge again. But
Yeah.
the one thing I always have to do is him, and I know it's cheating, like it's not canon. Knock Alfira out.
I knock her out every time because I don't want
I
to kill
can't.
her.
I
And
can't.
I don't want to miss out on her story and her sweet little romance with her tiefling friend.
Right? I don't want to watch her come into my camp and die
Yeah. So
because I couldn't
instead
control the urge.
I kill some random pantsless dragonborn chick.
She's
Like
worthless.
it's so like that's such a weird stand-in character.
I know.
You're so
Yeah.
blurry, Dylan.
I'm It's weird how that happens, and all I have to do to switch it is I just change like the HD on and off. Boom, there we go.
Well, inferior technology.
Inferior. My Logitech can't read me.
Pathetic. So yeah, if you can't tell, that's what I'm most hyped about. I can't wait to figure out what's going on with that. Sad
I'm
thing
hyped
is
for it
it's
too.
probably years from now still.
Oh yeah, well I mean, and think about it too. The last, or not the last, but we had another Star Wars game announced at the Game Awards once, Eclipse. We haven't heard nothing.
Yeah, is that even still happening or did it get canceled?
I don't know. And so it's like I hope this gets a lot more I hope this is closer than that.
Let's see. I'm gonna look it up.
Because that was by
By Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream.
I would love to see their take on a Star Wars game. A super narrative rich choice-based Star Wars game.
That'd
That
be
could be
dope.
kind of cool. Developer Quantic Dream confirming they did confirm this fall that the game is still very much active and being developed. They are not ready to reveal where it's at.
It's still alive.
Still alive.
I wonder with the news of this one, Fate of the Old Republic, does that
Yeah,
mean the remake? There's any hope for it?
I'm losing hope for that.
Was
It's
that a
the
remake of two or of
it was a remake of one. Two is still like a beloved game, but Knights of the Old Republic one kind of stands separate as it's just like on a different pedestal than two.
so according to hmm, IGN is reportedly still in progress.
I'm less excited about that now than I am about this new game. If a remake comes out and it's cool, it's good, then so be it. But I think the only way for that to succeed is if it's like on the level like Final Fantasy VII remake. Like I feel
Yeah,
like it would have to be something major like that.
it have to be like completely brand new skin, you
And I
know.
don't have a lot of faith when it's switched studios like three times now. Like, yeah, I'm much more comfortable in being hyped for Casey Hudson than I am,
It's
you
with
know.
Saber Interactive now. What games have they done?
It was originally with Aspire, and they're kind of a interesting company, to say
Oh
the least.
no, Saber Interactive. It's not looking good, Kyle.
What has Saber Interactive done?
They did Ghostbusters, the video game, remastered. Uh, Cabela's The Hunt, Bass
Oh,
Pro Shops,
that is my favorite game of all time.
Shaq Fu.
Okay.
But I mean, they did like I guess they did Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. They helped with that. Crisis Remastered. Um, so nothing, nothing that they ported Kingdom Come Deliverance to Switch.
Okay. So they're kind of they've been relegated to potentially just doing remasters, and they also are the ones that ported The Witcher to Switch, which is pretty impressive that they got Witcher 3 to run on Switch,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I guess they're working on the John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, Avatar: Last Airbender title that's unannounced, Turok Origins. Hmm.
Hmm.
So I don't
Well, we'll
know.
see. I'm not gonna be too I'm not too, into it. Like
I think a
if it
remake would be nice because especially with the new game on the books,
it'll
it'd be
give you
cool to
something a
have.
little more palatable to play rather than
Yeah.
going back and playing the 2003 one. I could see that. I'm also, one thing I'm also excited about, uh, that we didn't talk about before we jumped into the big one, for me at
Uh-huh.
least, is I'm excited about Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. And they
Yeah,
announced two of them. They
they're gonna
announced
have
like a
two,
remake of the first, like a full on like
like a
actual
real
remake,
one. Yeah, like not a remaster, remake, and then
and then
a
a brand new
sequel.
adventure.
I like the design. I like that they brought her to look more back, like brought her back to her roots. They gave her the
Hmm.
classic, blue tank top and shorts and boots. Um, the voice acting and gameplay like the voice acting seemed good. The gameplay looked fun. I'm a sucker for Tomb Raider. I think there's not a single one I've missed. I've played them
Wow,
all.
really?
I've been playing Tomb Raider since the 90s. Like
What do
first
you think?
I watched my brother play them when I was a kid, and then I started playing them. Yeah.
What do you think of the newer ones? The like
I
more
liked
realistic.
I liked the first two. Tomb Raider, and then I think the second one was Rise of the Tomb Raider. The third one, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It might be Rise or Shadow. I forget which one's the second and third, but the first two I thought were good. The third one I felt like was not very good. They fell off. But I
Is
really
this
liked the 2013 one. Uh,
who's developing this new one?
I didn't see. Did they even show that?
Let's us look.
New Tomb Raider game developer is going to be Crystal Dynamics. Oh, they're partnering with Amazon Game Studios.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
where
I
they're
did see that pop up.
that is where they're getting their budget. Crystal Dynamics
Did the other ones, right?
did the other ones too, yeah. Amazon Game Studios is also partnered with the people that are doing the new James Bond game.
What do you think of the reveal of Lenny Kravitz?
That was another one that just whelmed me.
I know.
I
I was
wasn't
like, oh,
I wasn't underwhelmed. I just felt it was like, okay, cool. Lenny Kravitz is playing a bad guy, I guess. And
he's is he the Bond villain?
I don't know if he's the main villain or if it's a cameo or what. I don't know. If he's the main villain, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of fizzles me out a little bit.
Like, yeah. Because I mean, could you imagine if they got like, let's say, you could get some really good like the guy Kingpin from Daredevil,
Yeah, like you can get some really good people to be the main villain of a Bond game.
but you got Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, got Lenny Kravitz. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be the main villain or not. Um, I- I'm hoping that'll be more of just like a cameo type situation. So,
We'll have to see. I have a feeling he's the main villain. Or maybe he's the fake out villain, like where you think he's the main villain and then
yeah.
not actually him.
Who would be a really good Bond villain? They've so many different actors have already done it, and there's so many that stand just like the peak um of Bond villains
Adam Sandler.
naturally. That's such an American response to a beloved British franchise.
Yep, we just put the American in it.
I actually hate you for suggesting that.
You were the worst.
Oh,
Um,
you went blurry again, sir.
I don't know, like Mads Mikkelsen would be pretty good.
He already was. You
I
know
know.
that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Like you're aware of this, right?
uh, I mean, I think do they
The guy that played oh God, what's his name in Captain America Civil War? The bad guy from that.
Zemo?
Zemo. The guy that played Zemo. What's his name? Daniel Bruhl? Is
Yes,
that it? I
I
think
think
he could be a good Bond villain.
he'd be good. Um, what about? I don't think so. Benedict Cumberbatch.
He was a villain in Star Trek too, and he was really
True.
good as Khan. I liked him a lot as that.
I could see him. I guess I don't know. That's
I
that's
almost
a hard
see
one for me to picture.
I almost see him being more like M, like the
Yeah,
leader of, you know, MI, whatever it is, MI6,
6.
MI6. I feel like he would be better at that. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep an eye on that James Bond game. If Lenny Kravitz is the main villain, then you know, sure. But
Sure. Okay.
all right. But the gameplay looks fun. It looks very like Uncharted-esque, which I did see some people kind of complaining about, 'cause, like James Bond is not Nathan Drake. And but I don't think he has to be or act or do the things Nathan Drake does. But you could still have gameplay reminiscent of that I think would be good.
Well, yeah, because like the problem with that is if you don't do that gameplay, then it would be a lot of like, like tailing and like
Yeah, like
uh,
like playing poker.
yeah,
Like, I I think as a game, you have to go third person platformer action. I think
yeah.
that's the only thing that makes sense for a James Bond game.
Or GoldenEye, first person.
That's true. But even that's not James Bond. GoldenEye, you hit a machine gun and he's taking down armies like
Yeah.
COD style.
Tut-tut-tut-tut.
Super fun game. I loved it. But that's not James Bond. Like,
Yeah.
that's not. So, I actually, funny enough, um, one of my favorite games, and I can't play it anymore, unfortunately, because my my Nintendo Wii got fried. But I loved GoldenEye Reloaded on the Wii.
Uh-huh.
I love that. I played the hell out of that. It was so good, and it was with Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig came in to play Bond too.
James.
Like they actually got him. Like I thought that game was amazing. Um, so yeah, shout out to that random game on the Nintendo Wii,
He
and it was
should have won.
exclusive too
He should have
to the
won
Wii.
a voice actor.
I mean that game was. I mean the voice acting in that was nothing. It was all right. It was serviceable.
He was no Ben Starr or Jennifer English.
Nah. All right. Well, that's the Game Awards.
Yeah. Overall, good. Not as hype as some years.
Overall, net positive.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right,
It was
Dylan,
definitely a positive.
where can people find us?
They can find us right here on YouTube. Usually every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. This time we mixed it up so we could give you our off the bat reaction to the Game Awards. But come give us a like, subscribe, check us out.
All right. Well, remember, with a good KD, you get the dub.